Hey, friends. Welcome back to the Ready to Rise podcast. For any of you watching this on YouTube, you are going to notice I'm in a different location. I'm at my mentor, Crystal Jacobo's event. She hosts an annual event called Galentine's. It's for the girls. It's literally all about just coming into your empowerment and kind of like coming back into that self-love journey. And it's really had me thinking on what's important to me when it comes to self-love. And it really is us finding our happiness and healing our nervous systems and regulating our nervous systems. So I wanted to just do a quick episode on this for you. I know that myself and I know that so many of you listening do identify as high achieving women. We are go-getters. We're doing the things. We're going at it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm never going to tell you to take things off of your plate. I'm never going to tell you to, reduce the workload. Like, I'm going to tell you to get after it and go for it. But I'm all pointing, but there is a difference between us going after the things that we love and things that excite us and make us lit up and excited and happy, and then things that can burn us out. So I just want to chat for a minute about how nervous system regulation really is a form of self-love, right? I just want you to have the life that feels as good as it looks on paper. I want you to feel so good in your skin and not just have a life that looks amazing and that looks really good, but I want you to feel really good. Self-love to me, yes, it's a good bubble bath. Yes, it's an affirmation deck, right? Yes, it's going out and having dinner with the girls and slowing down, but it's also about safety, healing, literally letting your nervous system know that you are safe, healing those past wounds, right? And shifting out of the survival mode that we often find ourselves in and feeling again that happiness, that safety, that security, that calmness. And it doesn't mean that we're calm all the time. I'll kind of get into this, but it also means that we're calm, we have our moments, but we're able to kind of regulate back. And I think that high achieving women like us have been conditioned to believe that we always have to hustle in every area, even the areas that we don't want to hustle in. Same thing with overperforming. It's like we have to earn our worth, and it's simply not true. I want to remind you that your nervous system, and you might not even know this yet, but your nervous system holds on to that stress and those patterns, right? And that can keep us feeling stuck. So true self-love, truly, it's us rewiring those old patterns. So if you don't already have a coffee or a nice drink or even just a really good water, grab something, dive in with me. Maybe, listen to this if you're on a walk or doing whatever you're doing, because I really want you to be able to kind of absorb this whole episode, right? So, okay, let's get real. I think that self-love can feel like a foreign concept to women like us who are high achievers because we're very used to the hustle, right? We attach our worth to productivity, to accomplishments, to the external validations, the report cards when we were in high school, the college that we got into, the degrees that we have, and all of those things. Climbing the corporate ladder. What did your review this year say? All of that. The thing is that when we stay in this, what I call a go mode, our nervous system stays in this fight or flight response. This is the sympathetic response. If you are one of my nursing girlies, this is when we are in that state of maybe adrenaline and the epinephrine's going and norepinephrine, and we're just really freaking going, right? These are the nights when you can't sleep. You stay up till 1 a.m. If you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're staying up till 1 a.m., 2, 3 a.m., journaling, doing all the things. Or maybe you simply can't sleep and you're waking up at 4 a.m. so that you can wake up and get things done because you just can't, right? You have so much on your plate and you're doing so much. And over time, this leads to emotional numbness. It's kind of like the freeze response. If you're following my Instagram, I've been talking about this a lot. Emotional numbness, exhaustion, burnout, right? The functional freeze is really more so when you're in a freeze state. There's so much going on, and your nervous system is getting really used to like responding and responding and going and going and going. And then it just kind of gets really tired. So you might feel like you're procrastinating more. You're just like laying, I find myself doing this where I'm like kind of scrolling Instagram. I just constantly am picking up Instagram and like not even noticing it. And then I'll be doom scrolling. And before I know it, 2 hours of my life have gone by, 2 hours that I'll never get back. But it's because my body wants to do these kind of numbing out behaviors, right? Because I'm not used to feeling my emotions. I'm used to shoving them down and being a go-getter and getting in the hustle. I'm used to kind of this exhaustion and kind of this freeze state where it's like I'm just trying to do all the things, right? And now my nervous system just needs to chill. And so that's what it's doing when we find ourselves in those spaces like the doom scrolling and that kind of thing. If our nervous system doesn't feel safe enough to slow down, that's when like those extra self-love things like affirmations or the extra things that I do preach, don't get me wrong, but that's when they don't work, is because the nervous system isn't ready to believe that like the self-acceptance is okay, or that we're beautiful, or that life is okay and life is great, because it doesn't feel safe yet. When our nervous system isn't feeling safe and secure, we aren't going to be able to get into that excitement, that happiness, that extra, fun vibe, right? So your nervous system has a regulated state and a dysregulated state. Dysregulated is when we're in like the survival mode, waking up at 4 a.m., going to bed at 2 a.m., constantly awake, constantly going. And if you're stuck in the dysregulated state for years, self-love will feel unnatural at first. Because if you think about it, back to like evolutionary standpoint, our brain is wired for survival. We're wired to eat. We're wired to be in community. We're wired to be, trying to stay alive. It's so ingrained in who we are. It's so ingrained in our evolution. Happiness, excitement, joy, those are not as well ingrained, right? On top of that, if you're a very high achieving woman, which I'm not bashing, I just want to help you get through it and be happy. Like I want you to have your cake and eat it too. But if you're a high achieving woman who has spent years in a high stress, high performance mindset, like me as a nurse, right? Especially when I was working in ICU, which is part of the reason why I left, was because when you're constantly in this state of this high stress and going and going and going, your body isn't feeling safe, isn't feeling secure, isn't feeling able to slow down and calm down. So it might even resist self-love. This is when, I'm not going to get into it, but this is when a lot of things come up that is our body kind of sabotaging itself. So to move into a state of self-love and to move into like the soft girl era and the love and the happiness, we need to regulate our nervous systems first. We need to teach the nervous system that it is safe so that our body will start trusting that the self-love is okay. Slowing down is okay. You're enough without your accomplishments, without proving things, right? And again, I'm not saying that you can't accomplish things, but I'm just saying that knowing that you are beautiful and secure and safe and enough without that. Like that's not what proves it, right? So the first thing I just want to touch on is called somatic self-love. And this is when we feel things. Somatic is like the body, right? Soma means body, I believe. In Latin, it's feeling this. So instead of just saying the affirmations, I want you to feel them in your body. Place a hand on your heart. Just take those deep breaths and you can say whatever. I am safe. I am loved. I'm secure. But feel it in your body. You might feel a little bit of tension in some places. Breathe into that. Breathe into those places, but feel it. And there's another thing I want to teach you called the micro moment rule. And this is like, it's so simple, and it's going to help you to realize that self-love and nervous system regulation can happen in little chunks so that it's more achievable for you, right? It's something that doesn't have to be some big, huge event. So the tiny, inconsistent movements of regulation add up. So in the morning, these are just some of the things you can do. In the morning, instead of, grabbing your coffee and literally like chugging it like I did today to get to this event on time, take a minute, sip your coffee slowly, take a walk, like a mindfulness walk. You can warm your hands. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see me do this, but you can literally rub your hands, put them in like a prayer position, rub them, and you'll get that warmth. And then put your hands both on your chest and just say, like, I am here for you. I am here for you. You are safe. That's just like a 30-second moment of nervous system regulation that will get you back on track throughout the day. Because we can't avoid, we are high achieving women. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not broken. But because of that, we can't avoid these stressful moments, right? Like I said, I left ICU nursing, but I'm still a nurse. The other day, I had a crazy thing, very stressful. I can't talk about it, but it was just very stressful. And it's like, okay, let me just regulate. I went in the bathroom after, did a little box breathing, right? It's just doing these little moments and reminding ourselves these little shifts, they will lead to the bigger transformation over time. So try some of these for yourself. And just more than anything, I just wanted to remind you or to teach you that this nervous system regulation, the relaxation, the calming down, right? Like all of this, it's about being kind to yourself. And this nervous system safety is going to help you to bring in the self-love. It's going to let you be safe enough to bring in that self-love again. So if this resonated for you, if this helped you in any way, I always want to know. So take a screenshot of the episode, tag me on Instagram. I love getting those tags, or DMs if that feels better. And I know I'll mention it. It's always in the show notes, but I love to do giveaways for anybody who is posting a review. So if you scroll down, if you go to the show on the iTunes app and then you scroll down to where it says leave a review, if you can write a review, that would be amazing. I would love to see a review, and you can put your IG handle, or you can just put something in there, or just take a screenshot of it and DM me. So then that way I'll know who you are and I can enter you into a giveaway. I would love to do that and give you a copy of my 90 Days of Self-Love workbook. And actually coming up for the rest of this month in February, I'm going to give everybody that, enters into the giveaway, I'm going to give you a free month of the Rise Sisterhood, because I am such a believer in community and us reminding each other of all these little shifts that are going to just truly change our lives. So love you so much. I cannot wait to see you soon. And until then, you know where to find me on Instagram.